Degenerative players doing degenerative things. Evidently a Mythic Plus exploit has been discovered. Somebody's been fucking around the game and it has been found out. So what exactly has been going on? Well, there's evidence of what appears to be a long-running history of exploitive behavior that has been uncovered in a series of Mythic Plus 30 keys. Yes, suspiciously high death counts and impossibly fat boss kills have appeared on Raider.io. So this guy is outed himself because he got way too big-dicked way too quickly. So what this guy was doing evidently was going into Torghast and then getting all the anima powers, and then with a warlock pet and a well-timed Alt F4 was able to get out of Torghast with the anima powers still intact, take them then into raids and mythic pluses, and essentially delete bosses. Yeah, so I didn't even know this was by any means possible, but this guy's been doing it. And the way it was discovered actually was, if you looked at his logs, he was like a freshly made character, yeah, less than a month old, and he had already done a bunch of 30 plus keys, and the only other achievements he had were entry-level Torghast achievements. Look, you gotta, you know, there's always the old adage, you hate the play, you don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't hate this guy for doing what he did. Honestly, what a genius, man. He took one of the shittiest things that ever happened in WoW and flipped it into a positive. He took Torghast, Chorghast as we once called it, and basically used it to break the game. So this guy's probably going to lose his characters. He's done it on multiple characters here. We can see that Anon is his name. May he live forever as a legend. The man who used Torghast to break the game. But he has been discovered and outed, and he's, you know, his fun times are probably over. Moving on to some really cool lore out of Season of Discovery. I'm honestly finding Season of Discovery lore to be way more interesting than the actual current timeline lore. We know Season of Discovery seems to be an alternate timeline. We've seen Xalatath pop between the two. So this lore really here is really cool. And I've been enjoying the lore out of Season of Discovery, even though I don't play it. So there is a Night Elf rebellion going on, led by this girl, Ilari Duskfeather. And she is a night elf who believes that all of Kalimdor belongs to the Kaldori. What the fuck? And she... Yeah, what the fuck is right? She evidently believes that all of Kalimdor should belong to her night elf brethren. She doesn't like the Alliance, she doesn't like the Horde, she is a night elf purist. And if you ever played the old Warcrafts, this was the way the night elves thought, you know? I mean, the high elves themselves were created because of night elf purism, right? They just didn't like that magic shit. They would just ban people. So the way she is discovered, actually, is the Alliance starts to find these camps of humans and dwarves that have been savagely murdered. Markings on their bones indicating that, you know, it was a gruesome death that they came upon. To the surprise, you later learn that the attacks were led by night elves. Again, led by Ilari Duskfeather. While she attacks Horde on sight, Alliance players can question her further on her, you know, justification for doing what she does. As it turns out, the Night Elf hasn't accepted her people's place in the Alliance. As far as she's concerned, humans and dwarves are just a destructive force like the Horde, and Kalimdor should belong to the Kaldori. Chillingly, Ilari even hints at the burning of Teldrassil. Yeah, so this is kind of canonizing the burning of Teldrassil in Season of Discovery, but the weird thing is, we all know that the burning of Teldrassil in retail WoW was created by the greatest villain in the history of WoW, the Jailer, and his big nipples and bald head. That was all part of his plan. So it's interesting that she even hints at it, and the time that she hints at it is during that conversation you can have with her as an Alliance player. You ask her, "You're the one who attacked those Alliance camps in Desolus, aren't you?" She says, "Yes, and I'd do it again if those damn marshals weren't so persistent." "But you are a night elf. Why would you do such a thing?" She replies, "Kalimdor belongs to the Kaldori. I refuse to see it defiled with lesser races. Our leaders act as if the Alliance and the Horde are so different, but they debase our lands all the same. Do you not see how the dwarves plunder the earth for all that they can? Do you think humans' appetite for expansion will not bring them to the foot of Teldrassil someday, blades and torches in hand? To think my people bowed to those vermin over a few orcish lumber camps, pathetic. If our leader cannot protect us, then I will do what must be done. She's a badass, man. I love this. I love it when little NPCs are willing to stand up, do horrible things. This is why SOD lore is so cool, because it brings back war in Warcraft. Yeah, very cool stuff. Again, hinting at the burning of Teldrassil, but like we said, there is no jailer in this timeline, thankfully. Yeah, they haven't ruined the lore yet. So this burning of Teldrassil, maybe some of these canon events, as they call it, a canon event like in the Spideyverse, things that'll just always happen and must happen. So maybe the burning of Teldrassil still happens in SOD. Just no jailer Baldman involvement in it. Most players, whether Alliance or Horde, have to fight Allari, and when you do, she actually ends up escaping, and she drops a key. But if you are a Night Elf, you can actually talk to her. So you could say, "I sympathize with your plight, Allari. Kalimdor is ours, and ours alone." She replies, "It's good to see my Kaldori brethren still have some fight within them. I'd like to give you something." And evidently she gives you the key that would have dropped as you fought her. This will unlock a cache nearby. I've found some powerful items in my travels, and I'd like to share them with my fellow believer in my cause. Be strong, and may Elune watch over you. Really cool stuff. SOD has been exploring the lore in a nice way, in a classic way, I should say, bringing back some neat lore. Jailer equals Samiccus. He's going bald and will soon show his nipples for views on Twitch. No more accurate statement probably has ever been posted in my chat. Thank you for that, Moishi. They are called fixed points in time. Cache. Jesus. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so here's the thing. Whether or not there's actually canonized events yet between these two timelines, we have yet to figure that out. But what I will say is we do know these timelines seem to be running simultaneously because Xal'atath is popping between the two of them. So we'll have to wait and see if that ever does happen. In other news, if you live in China, the world of Warcraft is returning. That's right. After the ban of Blizzard and their fallout with NetEase and the desecration, if you remember, of the giant axe that they chopped up. You remember NetEase had a whole party about it and destroyed the little Blizzard headquarters that were over there. They're making up. They're friends again. And it looks like by the end of March or early April, it'll be announced that World of Warcraft and Blizzard as a whole will be returning to China. That's right. Back at it again. Microsoft probably told Blizzard, hey, you better go make friends with China again. We got to do business with them. Get your shit together, put your tail between your legs, and walk back over there and get shit fixed. Evidently, anyways, the big fallout, if you remember when we went through this whole story, Bobby Kotick was, fighting with them, essentially. So he's gone. So with him gone, probably this was easier for them to negotiate and get back in China. So if you're in China and you miss World of Warcraft, miss it no longer. It looks like it'll be turning and you'll be able to play the World Soul Saga with the rest of us. So there you go. And last but not least, speaking of Bobby Kotick, he's coming back. He's coming back. Yes. Well, not to WoW, at least. If you know anything about TikTok, recently in the news, it looks like the government's going to follow through. The votes are starting to come in, and they might actually ban TikTok. Well, it's Bobby to the rescue, boys. Who else could rescue one of the most corrupt and degenerative apps out there? None other than Bobby Kotick. That's right. Yeah, I'd rather they ban TikTok outright, as would I. According to WSJ, Bobby Kotick, former CEO of Activision Blizzard, has floated the idea of buying TikTok to potential partners. Yes. Former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has reportedly shown interest in purchasing TikTok as legislation in the U.S. threatens to ban or force the sale of the popular app over national security concerns. Kotick to the rescue, boys. Yes, so from now on, when you see your cool dancing memes, that booty shake, booty popping, you might have Bobby Kotick to thank for it. How about that? What a world we live in. Bobby gonna ruin that too? I don't know, but there's certainly money to be made. Look at that face, man. Look at that face. That is the face. He literally looks like a goblin. When I look at his face, I literally see a goblin. This man looks like a goblin incarnate into a human form. He might be a dreadlord for all we know. But that is it in terms of news.